Hey, what up? It's your girl Leia, aka Chef Slay the Playa, and it's summertime, baby. And guess what? We are making steaks on the grill outside because I refuse to let summer 2020 be canceled, okay? I'm so excited because these steaks are gonna be bomb, they're gonna be delicious, and of course we are going to be doing some sciencing as well. So we're gonna go outside and we are gonna enjoy the sun, we're gonna enjoy the nice weather as much as possible. While this would be way more fun with friends and family around, we all should do our part to make sure that we social distance and we stay 6 feet apart with our masks. But just make sure you try this recipe at home. And as y'all know, I'm not a chef, I'm just a funny scientist who loves to cook. So without further ado, let's freaking get to it. So our experiment today will be on resting your steaks versus not resting your steaks. So we're gonna have 1 control steak and 2 experimental steaks. They are all gonna have about the same seasoning, so most of our variables will stay the same because that is very important in an experiment. So we're going to hypothesize that the steak that is under control, the one that's going to be rested, is going to be more juicy and retain more juices than the one that we're gonna initially cut open immediately after being grilled. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's get grilling. So we've got our grill at 450 degrees. Pop these babies on here. All right, close it up. We're gonna turn these in about 2 to 3 minutes. We're gonna turn them. We're gonna enjoy this beautiful weather. All right, so we turned our steak about 45 degrees so we can get those nice grill marks on them. Now we're gonna flip them completely. Yeah, baby. Oh man, that looks great. Some people say that if you cut straight into a beautiful piece of steak after cooking it, it kind of defeats the purpose. Most experts suggest that steak needs to rest because the juices need time to redistribute. Otherwise, they'll just flow out like a waterfall, okay? Leaving you with a tougher, overcooked piece of meat. So the temperature that we're going to be cooking our steaks today is going to be around 140 to 145 degrees. So that means you should take it off the heat source when it's around 125 degrees Fahrenheit so that you won't overcook it in the middle. Of course, your steak is not going to be the exact same temperature throughout the entire piece of meat. We're just making sure that that very centerpiece is going to be the right temperature, okay? And these juices that we're talking about, it's not actually blood that you see. It's just a mixture of water and myoglobin. Red meat muscle fibers contain myosin and actin. And when cooked, these 2 protein filaments denature or untangle from their original shape. These proteins also undergo coagulation. And when a protein substance is going through coagulation, the strands of the protein or amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins, start to vibrate from the applied heat and therefore making the strands move around and tangle up with the rest of other protein strands, resulting in clumping of proteins. So to recap, the denaturation process occurs between 1 protein structure. So this is 1 protein structure, this is another protein structure, all right? So denaturation occurs between 1 protein structure, causing it to detangle. And once that occurs, coagulation can occur, all right? So this is between separate strands of amino acids, otherwise known as the building blocks of proteins. And they can tangle up with other separated strands of proteins from other protein structures, causing the coagulation process. So, we just took our steaks off the grill, all right? So this is going to be our control, And these two are going to be our experiments. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut into this one. We all took them off at the same time. So we used the internal thermometer. And we took them off about 140, 145-ish. So that's like medium rare, medium. So yes. All right, here we go. We're gonna cut right down the middle of this one. Okay. So that's what it's looking like. I'm gonna do a squish test. You can see lots of juices coming out, but still relatively still in shape. And the next two we're going to leave to rest for about 5 to 8 minutes. All right, and eventually during that time, the internal temperature is going to rise, but it's also going to allow the proteins and the muscle to kind of relax instead of being so tense since it just came off the grill. And we'll see what happens. So while we were waiting, we made our garnish. This is called gremolata. So it's literally just parsley, garlic, olive oil, and then salt and pepper, and it is super delicious, like so good. You can put it on steak, chicken, fish, really any protein. You can also put it on top of cornbread with a little bit of butter, and it's prime time. Also, there's a lemon in there, lemon garnish, so it's delicious. So let's cut into our next steak and see the difference, if there is a difference at all. Wow, this one looks juicy. Okay, okay, okay. Let's do our squish test. Squish, squish. Ooh, I don't see too many juices coming out, do you? Huh. Interesting. So, seems like we have a conclusion. What is that conclusion? It is that resting your steak produces a meat that contains its juices. It doesn't spill out automatically. Based on the taste, texture, and juiciness of these two steaks, this was just an extra just in case I burned one. But we didn't burn any, so we're good. So we're not gonna use that. We just have our two steaks. And based on those factors, I can definitely tell you that this one, even by poking it, is much juicier and more tender. And on top of that, like even you guys saw, the juices, they weren't flowing. They weren't flowing as much as this one, you know? So that's what we got. What you can do, just slice it up real nice. Little piece here and there. Dip it in your gremolata, and you are good to go. Okay? So that's what we have today. I want you to try this, for real. I want you to try the gremolata. I want you to try this experiment on your own. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys later.